I'm wondering, at what point did you allow yourself to do a Snoopy dance and actually laugh and enjoy yourself?
Well, I think probably with a couple of minutes left in that last game, everybody felt it was comfortable. They weren't going to get 4 on carry at that time, so we all felt pretty good about it. But it was an amazing event, and just look at how far hockey's come. Like, when we played Latvia, they physically took it to us, and it's been a long time since we've seen that. Our guys showed great composure, but they were running us like there was no tomorrow, and it was just a great event to see how far the floor has got as close to the ceiling now as ever before, that anybody can really win these events, and I think we saw that and how close some of these games were and some of the upsets that we saw.
Being involved in a couple of these, how did this one differ to you, obviously, other than, a foreign country?
Well, I think that, with the Prongers and Niedermayers no longer there and some of the veteran players, the group obviously took a calculated risk, but putting players on like Tavares, Jamie Benn, and Duchesne, and all those players played very good. Obviously, we really felt bad for JT when he got injured there in the Latvia game on that hit. But Duchesne and Ben, I thought, really came out as the tournament progressed. The last 2 games, I thought, were their best. I thought Jamie Benn might have been the best player on the ice in the last game. And I said to them both after, I'm happy for you, but I wish you guys just were in the Central Division, because I think that their careers are just going to take off from here.
Doug, congratulations on the whole process, and obviously winning the goal and the thoroughness of the whole process. Just going back to Vancouver, you were there. There was some real adversity, with a couple of tough game situations. Was there, from the inside, was there adversity this time? And how did it unfold? Or was it a lot less? I know the Latvia game was 1-1. I get all that, but real adversity like you faced in Vancouver.
Well, I think the adversity came, Doug, was we couldn't score goals, and I don't know why. Like it was
mind-boggling
a low-scoring tournament. Yeah, but for the, I know you worked with Hitch. Hitch, like, he was happy. We turned $140 million into checkers.
Oh no, he was on a high up there.
No, but
his game plan was. I know his game plan was to beat Latvia 1-0.
I know. When we let that one in, he was devastated. No,
but it was mind-boggling, Army. The scoring, was that where the adversity was?
Well, for me, that's where it was, and it wasn't because of lack of scoring opportunities. Like,
no.
I felt for Steve. He obviously wanted us to win about Latvia, but he had this goalie. I said, "Who is this guy?" He said, "He's a pretty good minor leaguer." And all of a sudden, he stops 57 or 60 shots. I was like, "You got a good asset there." But the goaltending, and the defense in the whole tournament was amazing. I think the one thing that we learned is that the big ice is the big ice, but when those blue lines are so close to the goal line, there's no room. And so our thought process was to use the points more, but when the defenseman got the puck on the point, there was no time. The forwards were out there, getting in the shooting lanes and the passing lanes. So it was a different game, and I thought our guys had to adjust to that. I thought they obviously did a tremendous job at the end.
Just one more on that. The constant early line juggling, when it came to an end, it seemed to settle everybody down. Was there a ton of conversation on line changes from your guys' perspective, or did you leave that with the coaches?
Yeah, well, it certainly came down to the coaches. They did a lot of work on that, and I think probably, I'm not sure if it was a tactic, but I think the line changing and the juggling was really good for us because it kept everybody focused on a day-to-day basis. And you look at what happened to the Russian Federation. They didn't change their lines, and that coach is getting questioned on that extensively. Why wouldn't you switch things up when things weren't going good? I think Babs did a great job of trying to feel out where everything was. He had Kunitz with Crosby at the start. He switched around on that and then went back to that, and obviously I think he made the right decision at the end there. So Mike and his staff did a great job of using those preliminary games to find out the best combination, and then when we got there, the guys responded.
Army, it's hard to believe that you can win a gold medal with Sidney Crosby scoring 1 goal. Were the line changes early kind of more first to try to free him up a little bit, or was it collectively? Because it just seemed that, the Kunitz, Crosby matchup was there right from the get-go for him, and then we found him not there anymore early in the tournament?
Well, it wasn't, and a lot of credit has to go to Crosby on all this. Like he's the focal point in hockey everywhere he goes, but he didn't want to be the focal point on the team, and so the line changing he accepted, and it wasn't the free sit up; it was to get the most out of our team, and he was accepting of the line juggling. But obviously, you're a better team when Sydney's producing points, and I was so happy for him because of what the pressure that he was feeling to get that goal against Sweden. I'm sure that it was such a relief for him, and I know it was a relief for everybody to get that extension lead, because no matter how good you're playing, and you guys have experienced this, when you're up 1-0, you're only one puck off a stanchion and one off of a skate, and it's a tie game. So that second goal was huge for us.
I look at Price, and obviously a ton of questions going into the tournament vis-a-vis the goaltending, and you give up 3 goals in the entire tournament, which is that's his mind-boggling that you were able to accomplish that as the goal-scoring drought. But Price in the Latvia game, Army, I got to give him unbelievable credit the way he stayed focused in that game. He went 10 minutes at a time without a shot, and yet when you needed him, I think he built off that game.
Well, I would agree, and you'll laugh at this. I was saying to Kenny Holland in between the second and third period, I said, if Carey Price is as nervous as I am, we're screwed.
Exactly. And us.
He just wasn't facing anything, and then he made a big save in the third period, and I think he just built off that, and he was a little bit, I don't want to say nervous, but, the first game he didn't look as comfortable as he did from the third on, and he was just a rock back there, and I think the guys just fed off that, and we didn't give a lot of scoring opportunities, but it doesn't take a lot to score a goal, and he bailed us out a couple of times, and then the guys just fed off that, and I think they really felt like if we got 2, that was going to be a win for sure.
We look at that blue line, and it on paper you look at it and you go, there's not another country that could touch this blue line with a 10-foot pole, but then you go watch them what they were able to do in half a dozen games, and you shake your mind and you say that's
shake your head, not your mind.
You shake your mind and your head, and you cannot believe. Who are you, Darren Millard, right now? Leave my Kipperisms alone.
You sound dumb in front of Doug Armstrong, one of the geniuses of the game.
And now you sit there, Army, and you go, you can't even find room for a Norris Trophy winner to play. That's how good they were.
Well, yeah, and I think PK was outstanding there. His energy just around the team was something that, people don't understand, but he was great to be around. You just saw him in practice in the locker room, keeping everybody loose. But you look at the right side of that defense, and I think that Alex certainly was there on his own accord, but I think that pairing of him and Bouwmeester made it difficult because obviously you knew Doughty was going to play and you knew Weber were going to play. Alex is a great player, and so is PK, and I think probably Alex got a little bit of a nod just because of his relationship with Bo, and the coaches felt very comfortable they could use these guys as a pair, but it did show the depth that when you can have players like PK not getting the ice time that they're used to and or playing, it shows the depth of our defense in this country.
Tell Mac you can shake your mind too, would you?
You know what? The greatest thing about
shake your head, the mind will follow.
Exactly. The greatest thing that Kipper was most excited about is, I don't know if you noticed the team picture on the ice, but PK pulled a Nick Kypreos from the '94 Stanley Cup picture. Kipper's right off Messier's shoulder, and Subban's right front and center of the picture.
Hey, you know what? Everybody was a big part of it. No matter where he was, he deserved to be in it.
And you know what?
The only difference is PK's going to end up with about $90 million in his career, and but not so much for me.
And you know what? PK.
I heard with that new deal, you're pretty close though, Kipper.
Listen, Army, and
don't bring that up. That's a sore spot with Doug. He doesn't have a contract.
Thank God. I think the thing with PK, it says a lot about PK, but it says a lot about everybody in the group, Army. That you watched Martin St. Louis in that last game play every shift, and he said it was to get another shift. You watched how a lot of guys had to take on different roles. I mean, it spoke about the management team, the coaching staff, that people had to check their egos.
Well, it all went back to the ball hockey.
Yeah, you guys did a hell of a job organizing that.
You have to give it up there. No, I think Mike and his staff have to get all the credit on that. That they were able to talk to the guys and work through what what our purpose was to win a gold medal, and everyone had to buy into it. And it has to be difficult for those elite players. I certainly would know that from experience. But to go from playing, as a forward, a lot of these guys play 21, 22 minutes. To get down to 14 or 15 is difficult, and it's hard. Not the minutes, but I think to find the rhythm that they're used to. And they did a great job. But Mike and his staff, and obviously Steve, to bring the players together and to have them understand what the purpose of the event was. For those guys to do that, it's just great for our game, and I think it's just great for the psyche of Canadian athletes to realize that these guys, what they're willing to sacrifice for the betterment of the team.
Now, Stevie Yzerman has acknowledged that he will not be back. Now, as a management group, do you guys look around and say, "Oh no, the jig's up now"? Would that be equivalent to like the Beatles breaking up in their prime?
Or do you want us to push you for the job?
No, I think Steve did obviously a fabulous job, and as we all like, it's working in the group and that's leading the group. They're two different animals, and the stress, or not, I don't want to say the stress, but the work that he had to put in and manage this team twice, I'm sure it takes a lot away from your family. It takes a lot away from your downtime, and he did a fabulous job. And if he decides not to come back for the World Cups, if they're on there or the next Olympics, he's certainly earned the right to walk away when he wants to. And he's been an honor to work with. I didn't know him before we started to work together. In 2007, I helped him in Russia, and as a good of a leader as he is, he's a better person and friend now. And all the accolades he gets, he deserved, from what he's done on the ice now to what he's done off the ice. He shows that he's a staple in our game, and I think the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to benefit from him for a long time.
Don't sell yourself short as an elite athlete. Most people out there don't know that you were an elite golfer.
Yeah, I don't know about that either, but I used to like the golf, but I certainly working in hockey has been a lot better than I ever would have been being a club pro somewhere.